Hi everyone, this is Mohi from Singapore Maths Academy. I'm going to take you through multiplying a two-digit number by another two-digit number. But before we do that, we need to understand what multiplication looks like, what it is, and also then we're going to understand how to multiply a two-digit number by another two-digit number. So let's go and start by looking at our whiteboard. So I'm using this app just to understand what multiplying looks like. So when we say 23 times 3, we mean 3 lots of 23s, right? Or 23 lots of 3s. And so when I say 23 times 3, I'm going to look at it as 23 add 23 add 23, right? 3 lots of 23s. So here I've got 23. Can you see that on my board? I've got 23 all around here. And so I'm going to show you what 23 times 3 looks like as an image. That way we can hopefully understand how multiplication works. So if I duplicate this, that's 23 times 2, 2 lots of 23s. And if I duplicate that again, that's 3 times 23. What do you see here? Can you see what we're going to do next? We're going to use column multiplication to multiply 23 by 3. So what do we normally say? We say 23 times 3. We start off with the ones, right? I'm going to show what 3 lots of 3s, 3 lots of 3s here, is 9. So 3 times 3 is 9, so I write down 9 here. That's 9 ones, right? This is 9 ones all together. Then I'm going to show you what 3 lots of 2s are. But are they 2 though? What have we written here? This is 2 tens. So 3 lots of 2 tens, 3 groups of 2 tens all together is 6, 2, 4, 6, 6 tens. And we know 6 tens makes 60. And that's why the final answer is 69. We know this is 60, and when you add the 9, it becomes 69. So column multiplication just allows us to be efficient with our time when we go through multiplication of large numbers, like a two-digit number by a two-digit number. We've also used two-digit number by one-digit number to understand what's happening with multiplication. But we're going to go through one more example, okay, with a two-digit by one digit. This time is going to be 45 times 4. 45 times 4, right? So I'm going to have, oops, let me do that again. 45 times 4, I'm going to need to move this. Here we go. I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 lots of 10s. That's my 40, and 5 ones, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 alive. There we go. So we've got 45 here, right? And 45 times 4 means 4 lots of 45s, right? Or 45 lots of 4s, but this is going to be easier for us, right? So what's the first step? I've got 4 times 5. 4 lots of 5 ones is 20 altogether. Now all of this is 20, right? How am I going to represent 20 here? All of this is 20. And so I'm going to show you that actually 20, there's 10 here, and this, does that make another 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It does. There we are. That's another 10 here. So 4 times 5 is 20. These extra 2 10s I'm going to add to my tens column here. Does that make sense, class? So I'm adding that to my tens column so that I have, what happened to my ones? There's 0 ones here, right? I've made 4 times 5 makes 20. I've made 20 with the 4 times 5. That means that all the ones make 10s. So that's why I've got 2 extra 10s here. And then I've got 4 10s here. I've got another 4 10s here, 4, 8, 12. I've got 16 10s. 4 times 4 is 16. I've got 16 10s, right? And so 16 10s, add these 2 extra 2 10s, which is here. 16 add 2s, 18 10s. So I write down my 18 10s, which is 180. Because I know if I showed that here, all of this, if I change this into hundreds and tens. I've got 100. Add, how many lots of tens have I got left? I've got 100, add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tens, 180. So when I added the tens together, it became 180. And that's what we've got here, 180. We've got 100, we've got 8 tens, as you can see here, and we've got 0 ones left. Okay, so that becomes 180. So 45 times 4 equals 180. Now, these are the basic steps we need to go through so that we understand the next step, which is to multiply a 2-digit number by another 2-digit number. So let's go ahead and work on that now. Okay, so the example I'm going to set at first is 10 times 25, okay, or 25 times 10. And so here I've got 25 10 times. I've got 10 lots of 25s, okay, just about squeezed it in. Now, most of us probably know what 10 times 25 is already, okay, but the reason I'm showing you this is to kind of understand something which is very important when we have a 2-digit number multiplied by a 2-digit number, which we're going to look at in a bit. But 10 times 25 looks a bit like this, okay, we've got 25 here, and we've got 9 more lots of 25s, okay? So I've got 25 and then I've got 9 lots of 25s, makes altogether 10 lots of 25s. Now, when I've got 5 here and I've got 10 lots of 5s, 10 lots of 5s we know is 50, right? So I know I can think of this as 10 lots of 5s, which is 50. 10 times 5 is 50. And I can add that to, I've got 10 lots of 20s, 10 times 20, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, 180, 200. I've got 200. So altogether, 25 times 10 is 250. Can you see that? It's 250. There's no ones here. Did you notice that? There's no ones at all. Because when we start multiplying by tens, the first number, 10 times 1, right, in the 10 times table is 10, and then 10 times 2 is 20, 30, 40, 50. We know the 10 times table has 0 ones, and that's something we're going to use. Okay, we're going to need to put that in our brain somewhere. 10 times table has 0 ones, so when we multiply by tens, we're going to have 0 ones, right? And so when we now multiply a whole number by 10, like 2, 3, 4, 5 times 10, there's no ones. And so we're going to use that for future reference. So let's move on to the second part. This is step 1. We need to go through step 2 now. Okay, let's look at step 2 now. We're going to look at 25 times 13. So we looked at 10 times 25, which is 250. Now we're going to look at 25 times 13. And how we're going to do this, let's have a think. So I know 13 is 10 partitioned, is 10 and a 3. Right? So what we're saying when we say 13 times 25, we're saying I need to work out what 10 lots of 25 is, and I need to work out what 3 lots of 25 is. And that way I get what 13 lots of 25 is when I add that together. So I know I've got 25 here on my screen. I know that when I've got 3 lots of 25s, because our first step, we've got 3 here. Our first step right here is 3 times 5. 3 lots of 5s, I've got 5 here. So 3 lots of 5s, what's that going to give us? I know 3 times 5 is 15, right? 3 times 5, got it here, is 15. And then I'm going to do 3 times 10, which is, you can see here as well. Okay, so now I know 3 times 5 is 15. So all of this gives me 15. And so when I put that together, 15 is a 10 and a 5. I know I'm going to have one extra 10 here. I've only got 5 ones left here. 3 times 5 is 15. My 5 is going to go here. And my 110 that we've just made, as we saw here, that's 15. I'm going to put the 10s in the 10 column, or I'm going to put 10 in the 10s column, right? So that's where this 10, this extra 10 here, right, it's from this 10 that we got from here in the ones column, and that's where 3 times 5 is 15, the 10 is up there and the 5 is below, so in the ones column, right? So next step is 3 times, is it 2? Think about it, look at the picture. It's 3 times 20, 20, 40, 60. 3 times 2 10s we can write 3 times 2 tens is 6 tens. So 6 tens, but don't forget, we've got this extra 10 here from the ones column. That makes 7 tens. So look at that, guys. We know 3 times 25 is 75. Most of us probably know that without having to do column multiplication, okay? Which is great. We know 3 times 25 is 75, and that's where I put down the 75. So the first line in this column multiplication is to work out what 3 times 25 is. Does that make sense, class? Let me know in the message below, all right? Leave me a message to tell me whether it makes sense or otherwise. So I've got 3 times 25, and then I'm going to do 10 times 25. Well, we already know what 10 times 25 is, right? I can write that in here, 250, because we worked it out before. We know 10 times 25 is 250. And so altogether, we can work that out. But this is the important part we have to kind of think about. This 0 here, right? That 0 is always going to be a 0 when we've got a 2-digit number multiplied by a 2-digit number. Because when we multiply, what did we say before? When we multiply a whole number by 10, then what happens is we have 0 ones. Remember, these are the ones column and this is the tens column. And so because we've got 0 ones, we're always going to put a 0 here. And then we can do 1 times 5. 110 times 5 is 110 times 5 is 50, right? Look at that. This is the tens column and we put 5 here. So we can think of it as 1 times 5 at first, but we've got to know this is 110 and that's 5 ones. 10 times 5 is 50. That's why I put a 5 here. And then I've got 10 times 20. We know 10 times 20 is going to be 200. And that's why I've got 2 here. 1 times 2 is 2, right? And so this is already in the hundreds column. That's why I've got 250 like we looked at before. And when you add that together, 5 add 0 is 5. 7 add 5 is 12. I put the 1 there. And 1 add 2 is 3. So I get 325. Why is it 325? I said 1 add 2 is 3. But don't forget, this is the 100s column. And so this is 100 add 200, which is 300. This is 7 tens add 5 tens, which is 12 tens. 12 tens. Don't forget, if I have 12 tens, shall I show you? You know it, right? What am I going to show you? Have a think. I've got 12 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I've got my 12 tens here. My 12 tens, what are they equal to again? Can you remember? They're equal to, well, 10 tens is 100. And I've got 2 tens left. That's equal to 120. And that's why we've put an extra 100 here, right? That's why we've put extra 100 here. And we just put the 2 here because we've only got 2 tens left. And this is the tens column, right? It's a bit messy there. So remember, 25 times 13, we do this. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 2 is 6, but this is 2 tens. So 3 times 2 tens is 6 tens, which is 60, plus the 110 here, that's 70, that's 75 altogether. So what we just did there was 3 times 25. We know 3 times 25 is 75, and that's what we did here. That's what we've done here. So I'm going to write down 3 times 25. That's 75. The next line is what we're doing is this 10 times 25, right? We know 10 times 25 is 250, but let's have a quick think about how we did that. And so let me quickly rub this out. And we did 13 times 25. And so we did 1 times 5 is 5. But why isn't the 5 here? Why isn't the 5 there? That's a bit strange. Right? Oh yeah, because we know we're multiplying by 10. It's not a 1, this is a 10. 10 times 5 is 50, And so that's why we put the 5 here for the 5 tens. This is a tens column, and this is 0 ones, right? And that also makes 50 here. Can you see that? That makes 50. And then you've got 1 times 2, which is 2. But don't forget, that's a 10 times 20. 10 lots of 20s is 200. And that's why this is the hundreds column anyway. So that's why we've got the 2 there, which represents 200. So we've got 5, 12, and 3. So you've got 325. When we add that together, 5 add 0 is 5. 7 tens add 5 tens is 12 tens, which is 2. The extra 10 goes, the extra 100 rather, the 10 tens, which makes the 100, goes in the hundreds column. I've got 200 add 100, which is 300. And so our answer is 325. So I've gone through it in quite a detailed manner. So you might want to break it up by pausing whenever you can and kind of having a think about it, maybe having a go at some of the questions or similar types of questions, and then going to the next part, which is to try another question. So let's have a go at another question. I'm going to get rid of all of this, and I'm going to set 3 questions. 1, 2, 3. Have a go at these. I'm going to go through them so you can pause the video and then see if it makes sense for you. And then you can maybe pause after the first one, or if you want to have a go straight away, you can have a go and see if you do the exact same thing. So I've got, let's say, 28 times 14, 36 times 35, and 49 times 67, right? 3 challenging questions maybe for us. Have a go at them. You can pause the video and then we're going to go through them. So let's go through these. First step, I'm going to do 4 times 28, right? The number above. And then I'm going to do 10 times 28, right? On the next row. 4 times 8, 8, 16, 24, 32. So I'm going to have 2 here because that's the ones column. The 3 goes up here because 30 is in the tens column. I want to add the 3 tens later. 4 times 2 is 8, but this is 20, so it's 80. But I'm going to put the 8 here. That represents the 80 because we're already on the tens column. Have I done it right? Did I forget anything? I did forget something, right? I forgot to add the, what did I forget? The extra 2 or 3 rather here. So 4 times 2 is 8, plus the 3, 8 add 3 is 11, so we get 112. 28, this represents 28 times 4, which is 112. Then I'm going to add that to the next row, which is going to be 10 times 28, okay? 10 times 28, or I can say 28 times 10, right? To keep it in line. 28 times 10. So what's that going to be? Well, I know when we multiply by 10, that's going to be 0, right? Why? That's going to be the ones column. This is the ones column, and the other one is the tens column. And so I know this tens column is going to be more important here because this is multiplying by 10. So the 0 goes there because there's no ones when we multiply by a whole number by 10. So I've got 1 times 8, which is 8. But don't forget, this is 80 here. Why is it 80? Can you remember? Because we're doing 10. This is a 10 times 8, which is 80. And then we're going to do 10 times 20, which is going to be 200, right? 10 times 20 is 200. So altogether, we've got 280 here. 28 times 10, which probably a lot of you know, is 280, right? So we've done the right thing. And the final step is to add that together. 2 add 0 is 2. A 10 add 8 tens is 9 tens. 100 add 200 is 300. Did you get 392? Type in the message below if you got 392. And then we've got another question here, 36 times 35. We're going to do this. 5 times 6 is going to be 30. So we've got a 0 here because 30 has 0 ones. All the ones make the tens. So I'm going to put a 3 here because the 3 tens I have to add on later. 5 times 3 is 15, right? 15 plus 3 is 18, but it's 18 tens, which makes 180 altogether, right? So here, this is what we did. 5 times what? What did you do here? What does 180 represent? It represents 5 times 36. 5 times this whole number, 36, right? That's what we did. The next step is going to be 30 times 36, right? So I'm going to do 30 times the whole of 36. Well, to do that, we do 30 times 6. Well, 30 times 6, 3 times 6 is 18. And so 30 times 6 is going to be 180. And so I know I want to put a 0 here because that's the ones column. And we're going into the tens now. We're multiplying by 10 now. And so 3 times 6 is 18. So I'm going to put 8 here. I'm going to put the 1, which I need to carry over to the hundreds column. 3 times 3 is 9. Plus the 1 is 10. So I've put a 10 here, which represents 1000, which is 1,000. Right? That's why we've got 1,080. So 30 times 36 is 1,080. 5 times 36 is 180. And so the last part is going to be 35 times 36. That's what we're going to get for the last part. This also represents 28 times 14 because we added 28 times 4 to 28 times 10. 10 add 4 is 14. So this gives us 28 times 14. Similarly, 5 times 36 add 30 times 36, that's going to give us 35 times 36. I'm adding 5 and 30, that's 35, lots of 36s, right? Or 36, lots of 35s. When I add that together, I get 0. 8 add 8 is 16, put a 6 here. 1 add 1 is 2, and I've got the 1,000 here, so 1,260. Our final one we'll go through. I'll give you a chance to go through that if you haven't done so already. So 7 times 9 is 63. I'll put a 3 here, put my 6 tens up there because I need to add them on later. 7 times 4, 7, 14, 21, 28. 28 add 6 is 34. So this is 34 here. What does 344 represent in this question? Can you work that out? It represents 7 times 49, right? 7. We did 7 times 9, 7 times 40. That's 7 lots of 49 altogether. That's 343. What's going to go on our next line? The first step, we're going to put a 0 here, right? That's a 0 because this is now going into a tens column. We're going to multiply by tens. That means there can be 0 ones. Whenever we multiply whole numbers by 10, there's always 0 ones. So we've got 6 times 9, which is 54. So I'm going to put the 4 here, and I know I'm going to have to add the 5 on in the next column. 6 times 4 is going to be 6, 12, 18, 24. 24 and 5 is 29. So I write 29 here. And I have to try to make sure it's in the right columns, right? So I'm trying to make sure they're all aligned nicely so that I don't get muddled up, okay? It's like there's space between them. The ones are of the ones, tens are of the tens, and so forth. So you've got 3 ones add 0 ones, which is 3 ones. 4 tens add 4 tens, which is 8 tens. 300 add 900 is 1200, which is 200 plus 1,000. So I'm going to put 1,000 here. And then you've got 1,000 add 2,000, which is 3,000. So our final answer is 3,283. What does 294 represent? Do we know? 2,940 represents, what does that represent? It represents 60 times 49, right? This is a 6, which is 6 tens. That's 60. And what we did was we multiplied the 49 by this 6 tens, which gave us 2,940. And therefore, when we added that together, we get 67 times 49 altogether. Okay, which is 3,280. Was it 3,000 or 32,836? Which one is it? I think my writing is so close that it makes it look like it is, but it's actually 3,283. This is a different column here, right? 67 times 49. So 49 times 67 is equal to 3,283. And that's how we solve questions where we have to multiply a 2-digit number by a 2-digit number. If that worked for you, let me know in the comments, send me a message, and also make sure you try out some of the other questions we've set for you.